I'm an indigenous people, belong to an indigenous people in Norway, the Saami people. So we come here to address our issues and concerns regarding traditional knowledge and climate change and the implementation of the Convention on Biological Diversity in general. So we come here and hope to commit countries where the Sami people live. That will be Norway, Finland, Sweden and Russia. So if we get them committed to protect and promote traditional knowledge and the indigenous people's rights, we hope to use that at the national level when we get back home to say, hey, you have committed to do this and that when in the Convention on Biological Diversity, now you have to implement that at local level.
I think the job of reminding your own governments to do what they've already committed to do. In the region, from the region you come from, specifically talking about the Nordic region, what is the greatest biological threat or biological problem?
Well, actually now it's the threat on the traditional livelihoods, because we see immense increase in mining activities, windmill parks and other constructions that will fragment the land that we depend upon. So that will also of course reduce the biodiversity and also the traditional livelihoods that we claim to be stewards of the biodiversity in the north.
When we talk in the context of a developing country like say India, we always tend to discuss the development versus conservation issue. In a developed country like yours, does the same issue hold true? Is there a development in economic growth versus biodiversity conservation issue in your country?
Yes, actually, because the global demand for minerals also make people look to the north, where a little mineral development has been going on so far. Also oil and gas, but that's for Norway's sake that I know best, that's mostly offshore. But the global demand also makes companies look to northern Norway, that the reindeer herders and the other livelihoods of the Sami people have kept the land intact for a very long time. And they call it development, and that we should kind of accept this modernity and reduce our land use, traditional land use.
Give us some examples of specific activities or projects that Saami Council has taken up in the past, and along with it, if you could also, give us some idea about the positive impacts that have been brought about.
Yeah. Saami Council recently mostly involved in lobbying, and we haven't carried out so much projects at the local level because we are an umbrella organization, so it's our member organizations that carries out projects on the national level where they have their constituency. But we have, when my neighbor and friends at home ask, what are you doing out there in the world? I try to explain that, well, we just got this national park in our backyard. We have got, the Sami people and the local people have a seat in the management of that national park. So Norway and we got permission to use that areas in the traditional way, but with new modern tools, which will be driving by motorcycles into that national park. And I used to say that our lobbying at the international level, for example in CBD, where we have got acceptance for that protected areas, also have to be ensure that the traditional use of the area is not excluded. And now when we got that through at international level, Norway had to accept the Sami on the board of the management and to allow our traditional use of that area. And I think that's a success that we have managed to achieve internationally and implemented at local level.